ridiculous. So the scheduling guy said, you know what, Mr. Reed needs a break today. We gonna let him, because he got a long night tonight. He teaching from 6 to 9.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have, let's see, Jean, Kenyatta, Lisa, Simone, and Trisha. Thank you so much for joining us. Do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join the webinar today. My name is Deborah Davis, and I am the Regional Director of the Minority Business Assistance Center at the African American Chamber of Commerce. Joshua Reed is the CEO and founder of Influ, a social media automated business in which he created and is in the process of launching Influ 2.0. So I'm sure he will tell you about that in just a minute. Let's see, we're going to get started. There are quite a few people that signed up today, so hopefully they will join us within the next couple of minutes. But I do want to be respectful of your time, so let's get started. So Joshua, I'm going to turn this over to you so you can talk about the webinar today and introduce yourself to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, Ms. W, you think you slick, because I remember when we first kicked this webinar thing off, you did the webinar introductions, you did my introduction, and then you slowly transition, or you quickly transition into me. You know, you get in and out, and then I explain it, and then I do my introduction. So I caught on to that, but it's okay.
Well, I figured you wanted to introduce yourself. You know, there's a lot going on with Influ, and I want to make sure I don't mess anything up. So I just want to make sure that you have the time to
I know.
Properly introduce yourself. I forget to introduce myself sometimes, so you know.
Well, let's get to it. So I'm going to share my screen, and I see we have some returning names. I would say faces, but you know, it's virtual and cameras are off, so we have some returning names. But this is week, I want to say week 5 or week 6.
I think it's week 5. I have to.
So we've done a number of different educational webinars, and based on the reviews, 5-star reviews have been very helpful to individuals, you know, small to medium-sized businesses, or even individuals that are consultants that are looking to really take their digital knowledge and digital marketing to the next level. So I've walked you step by step how to build a website from A to Z. We've done video conference and how to take your video conference to the next level. Last week, I showed you how to get your search engine optimization, that 3-letter acronym, SEO, up to par. So we're giving you a lot of valuable information. Today, we're focusing on another topic that's extremely important for people with websites, and that's called your SSL certificate. Then we have our ticketing system for those who maybe want to offer customer support, but not offer your phone number. And so you can do it by setting up this feature on your website to where people can see your message. And it organizes everything by conversation, by date, by time. And it also, when you close the ticket, will automatically send an email asking them to rate their previous customer support experience. And I would say this is probably the least complicated one out of all of our webinars to date. And so I'm going to walk you through, and as you know, I do live demonstrations. So you can always go back and reference. This is on demand. So you can always come back and watch it as opposed to reading a bunch of slides. Even as someone that, you know, when I attend classes or trainings and webinars, I always enjoyed the professor that gave me live demonstrations and not just have me read a bunch of text where I have to go and figure out how to do it myself. I can just watch it. So let me go here to this next slide. So as it says, this course will teach you how to install your SSL certificate on your website. I break down what it is on the next slide. But the topics covered: what is an SSL certificate? Why is it important? How do you purchase one? How do you install it? How do you activate it? And how to set up and integrate with a ticket management system. So in order to do a ticket management system, a lot of these plugins and features require you to have an SSL certificate. And the reason why, because you want to know that you're working on a secured website. Some house rules. I ask you to interact with the webinar. So I'm going to jump over into the chat. Let me see. Okay, all right. Everybody responded. So I like for you guys to interact in the webinar, meaning use the chat, use the Q&A. I go back and forth between both. Ask questions, okay? And the reason why I say ask questions is because if you've ever looked up consultants that teach the same stuff, if they're good, they're charging thousands of dollars, okay? If they're good, if they're sharp, thousands. Impact is offering this to you for free. So Impact has already paid for this stuff to offer to you at no price. So you're in a position to take full advantage of that. And the reason why I like to reiterate it, because often and we all have experienced it, we're not paying for something, there's really no loyalty to it because there's no skin in the game. But here, you're in a position to really take heed to what we're showing you because it's going to benefit you and your business. The last but not least, don't be hard on yourself, be patient. I've been doing this for a long time. I know a little about a lot, which makes an individual very dangerous. And so we're trying to put you in a position to be the same exact way by doing these webinars. So if you don't get it today, this is on demand. You can always come back and watch it and look at the example, watch it again, do it again until you mastered it. And now you're teaching somebody else how to do it. Right? So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat and I'll answer them along this demonstration. But like I said, today is fairly straightforward. I don't imagine it being too complicated, but any event that it is, just drop those questions in the chat and the Q&A and I'll answer them. And if I'm saving you some time and it's something you want to go back to in a previous webinar that we've done, I know this may not take the full 60 minutes, so please have your questions prepared and I can answer them today as well. Well, what is an SSL certificate? So it helps to secure an internet connection and protect any data that's transferred between a browser and a web server. In simple terms, if somebody comes to your website and they buy a product, this SSL will encrypt that credit card number. So if someone hacks your site and download all the information, every credit card number has been transferred into an encryption. So maybe it goes from 16 digits to like 32 digits of a bunch of numbers and symbols and signs that don't really mean anything. So that's what the SSO is, letting the individual know that me putting my payment information to your website, I know that it's secured because I see this little lock that's in a domain area. So if you go to a website and it doesn't have a lock, let me show you a quick example. And I'm actually using a domain name that I made for today called impacttest.live. And I have not installed it, so I can show you exactly what I mean. So let's go here. Let's go impact. So it says not secure, right? So if it says not secure, I probably would not put more than likely I would not put my payment information to that website because I know that it's not secure. So if it gets hacked, they may get my email address, right? Which it's okay, but no one's gonna get the password. They may get it because it's not encrypted, but I know for sure they don't get access to my payment information because it has an SSL. If it doesn't, then you're kind of risking that. So if you're selling products like this presentation says, if your customers are inputting their private information to your website, then you need to have an SSL certificate for security. So you want to make sure you get that. And I'll show you exactly how to purchase it, okay? So let's go back to the agenda, how to purchase SSL certificate. Let's jump back over to this website. Now, you can get it from, depending on who you're hosting your website through. So you buy a domain name, you have to buy it through a platform where you're going to host it. So you can either buy it through GoDaddy, Bluehost, HostGator. I mean, there's a number of different platforms. You can even buy it through Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, wherever you're building your web domain. So I purchase my domains through GoDaddy. So if you want to buy a domain, it's very simple. You search for a domain, you search for it. Let's do impact. Let's just do impact test and see what pops up. Search domain. And you can purchase it, add it to your cart and you can buy it. Okay. Now, after you buy a domain, then you have to add what you call hosting. So the hosting is going to connect that domain to the world. All right. Now, once you've done that, you want to you want to go purchase an SSL certificate. So let me see. Website security. Is it in here? SSL certificates. Okay. So you go to GoDaddy.com scroll down to website security, SSL certificates. And here's where you can buy one, okay? So if you want to protect one website, $75 a year. Now, depending on what package you buy, depending on what hosting package you buy, today it's not about hosting. I just want to explain it to put things in context. So when you're watching this, I want you to be able to speak to this as if you know what you're talking about, because you may have somebody that's designing your website to you, and I don't want you to get bamboozled, okay? So some hosting plans come with an SSL certificate automatically, so you don't have to buy hosting and then go buy the SSL certificate. But if you have, let's say, the basic, the economy host, which is ideal, which works for the majority of websites out there. But if it's someone like we're a technology company, we have a lot of users and visitors going to the site. So we have a more advanced one to be able to handle the traffic. In economy, you can purchase the Protect One website at $75 a year, okay? Now, if you're someone that builds your website on Wix, we've done a number of demonstrations on Wix.com. So if you're not familiar how to use it, you can always go back to the on-demand webinar on the Impact website and you can watch those. I built a complete website using Wix. I actually done 2 separate webinars, one basic, one advanced, using Wix. So you can always go back and watch them. Now, when you buy your website on Wix, it automatically comes with an SSL certificate, okay? So there's sort of a leg up than with GoDaddy, because GoDaddy, depending on what hosting plan you select, will come with an SSL. On Wix, it comes with purchasing a domain name, all right? So if you're on GoDaddy, you can simply add to cart. I'm not gonna buy it, but I wanna show you the process. And then I'll show you what you do after you install it. So you want a standard SSL certificate, okay? One year. Cool. Continue. And sometimes they have certificates. I don't know if you guys know about this. I think it's called Honey. It's a widget I downloaded on Chrome where we search for any potential savings. Let me see if there's any discounts. Okay, nothing. Sometimes you have a promo code. So you would save and then you would choose the credit card you want to pay for, and then you would hit submit. Okay, for the sake of this demo, I'm not going to spend $75, but I'm going to show you what happens after, okay? So once you buy your SSL certificate, it's purchased, you then come in here.
Joshua.
Yes.
Trisha has a question. She said, in addition to credit card information, does it encrypt email addresses or messages sent through a contact form?
Yes, yes. Any information that, any personal or private information you're inputting into that website, this SSL certificate makes sure it encrypts it. I'm glad you asked that question because this brings up another point I want to make. The SS, like a house has a front door and a lot of times a back door. The SSL certificate is the front door of the house, okay? It's the lock. Then you have the back door of the house, which is that website security. It's another layer of security. Now, depending on what your business or industry is in, the SSL certificate will do the job. If you're in a space of IT, information technology, it's a little bit more advanced, then you want to get that next layer of security to protect you against like malware, where people can come in and put malware into your website, where they have an interest of doing that. So maybe you go to your website and it's all white. It's not that your website has been stolen or crashed, it's that they've embedded malware into your code on your website. And now it's not saying you gotta, either if you have a developer, they can go in and fix it and clean it and get it out of there, or you can call customer support and they clean it for you. But you can get that website security because the malware means they came into that back door. So you get that website security to protect the back door of your house. So now you're really locked and sealed from the more advanced, what do you call them? What are those hackers, right? So you're from the more advanced hackers. Now you got good hackers in the world. So if you're watching this, listen, I like you guys, the good ones, okay? So, I'm playing fair here, but you want to protect the front end and back door depending on what level you're at. But this SSL certificate is going to do just the job to encrypt any personal information that's being shared on your website. I had to be savvy with the words because this is on demand, okay? So I want to let people know I'm playing fair. Leave me alone. Because in the beginning, I had, the first website, my first startup, Operation Driven, I had malware on my website because I didn't know much. I didn't know half of what I know now. And once I got better at it, we didn't have any more issues. So I just want to make you guys aware of it. But yeah, once you buy your SSL certificate, you will go into your manage all to your hosting. And then you would see your SSL certificate listed. And then you would simply apply it to your web domain that you've purchased. So you see here, you say apply to web domain, and it's going to apply the SSL certificate to that particular web domain. From that point, that's it. Okay. Now, once you bought,
Joshua, where does it say apply to web
yeah.
domain?
So if I didn't have an SSL certificate next to drivenopsacademy.com, if I didn't already have it applied, you would see the option to apply purchase SSL certificate to this domain.
Okay.
You would see that option. If I purchased it, you would see it, but I don't think I need to purchase the $75 for you would know. So when you purchase, you would see an option here that says apply SSL certificate, and then you would just hit apply to that domain. And it's that simple.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the SSL is very clean cut. I do like it. Now, depending on the type of website you have or the type of domain you purchase, the type of hosting get very complicated. But for the basic economy hosting on GoDaddy and the basic SSL certificate, you'll see that button. Click it, apply, and that's it. Now, the next step I'm going to show you is a little bit more advanced, not complicated, but there's more steps to it. Any questions here before I move forward to the website?
I don't see any questions.
Okay, so now let's go to the website. So this is the website that we purchased today. So this particular domain, I paid $1.99 for it. So depending on the type of domain, you can get fairly cheap. If it was .com, it'd probably be like $12 a year. So it says not secure. So we want to go to the back end of the website. So I will put /WP-admin, and this is going to take you to the back end of your WordPress website. It's almost like the same here. So if I go here, select and edit, this is the back end of Wix. So you see how the back end of Wix looks? This is the back end of how WordPress looks. Do the same thing, just different platforms. Well, WordPress is a little bit more advanced than Wix. I mean, I'll take that back. You can do a lot more with WordPress, but you can do a lot with Wix as well. So you would come here, you would go to plugins, add a new plugin. Now, if you don't take this route, GoDaddy has some steps you can follow to activate your SSL through GoDaddy. That requires technical skill. Okay, so if that may intimidate you, here's the easy way to do it. And GoDaddy is not privy to tell you this information because it's about a plugin that's not on their website. And I believe GoDaddy would charge you to go through the steps to install it for you. Unless you get I've been with them for over 10 years. And when I call, I get a really good customer support agent and they'll walk me through it because of how long I've been with them. And sometimes you look up and get it, but traditionally they would charge you to do it. So here's a way you can do it yourself. So you go to the back end of your WordPress website. It's called Simple SSL, right? So you type in, you can do really simple or simple SSL. And it's going to bring up this plugin called Really Simple SSL. All right. Now, if you've done this step right here, where you applied it to this domain name. So let's pretend this is inbacktest.live. And I'm in the back end of inbacktest.live. And I install this plugin, activate it. Settings. See, okay, here we go. Right, so you see this right here, this red? Since I didn't purchase it, it's red. If I purchased through hosting for inbacktest.live, I've applied the SSL certificate I just bought from them for $75. I then came back to the back end of my inbacktest.live website. I installed the really simple SSL. I've activated it. It will automatically register this simple plugin to the SSL hosting that you just bought on GoDaddy. It would merge the two. It's really that simple, okay? So since I don't have it, it said it's not enabled on the site. So once you do this side of it, then this will say it's enabled. There's another step, okay? If it doesn't do it, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Is where after you install your SSL, and I recommend doing this out the gate. And the reason why I recommend doing your SSL out the gate is because when you install it later, sometimes there's images and documents on your website that all of them don't transition over to HTTPS. So in the beginning, everything you build on your website, it does moving forward. But if you're sort of your website's already done and it's still not secure, 90% of the time it does convert everything on HTTPS. But if it doesn't, you come to your general and you see right here, HTTP is still unsecure. You simply put an S, okay? Put an S, and you save it. Now, if you do this and you have not purchased an SSL certificate and applied it to your domain, and you come here and you put an S and you save it, it's going to break your website because an SSL certificate has not been applied to that domain name. So do not only do this in worst case scenario. Do this if you installed the SSL, you applied it here, and this has not been updated, then you can come back and you can place the S.
So Josh, when you say break the website, their website, what does that mean?
Meaning if you go, I don't want to do it now because I don't want to mess up the demo, but if you go to, inback, I can do it. I can show you right now. Let me see. This is what you're gonna get.
Okay.
Right. So you don't want to get that. And this is what you'll get if you come here and you skip all the steps we just walked through, and you put an S right here and you click save, because this is not how you show your website is secure. You got to buy an SSL, apply it to your domain, come to WordPress, install the plugin that I showed you in this demonstration, activate it, come here, and then you will see that the SSL. So the whole point of really simple SSL is, again, it's in the name, to keep it simple. Once you activate it and you already applied that SSL to your domain, it's going to do all the work for you. And at that point, this will be updated. You will see the lock. It will go from this like danger sign to a lock. It's going to say secure. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So the SSL is pretty straightforward, clear cut.
Are there any questions? Is there anything you want Joshua to go over again that you may not have understood the first time?
Well, if there are no questions, we're not done yet. But if there's no questions, I'm going to take the liberty to go ahead and put a soft plug in there, because if there's no questions, that means that you understood it. And if you understood it, that means it's been presented well. So in our webinars, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have a formal survey that we send out afterwards, because getting people to complete those is sometimes a little challenging. So how we do our surveys is we ask that if you're pleased with the information receiving, how it's being presented to you, that you drop it down in the chat. Let your happiness be expressed by hitting those keys on your keyboard and sharing in the chat, because we collect the logs and this is factored in. And our goal is to continuously bring you these webinars that can provide you technical skills and educational skills that can help you advance moving forward. Last year we had 11 webinars, we had 5-star reviews, and this year we upped it to 19. And so what Ms. Deborah does, she takes this information back to the organization, says, hey, people love it, they want more. And it's okay, we'll put more budget towards it. we can make it happen. So our goal is to go from 19 to 30. Like I said, there's a lot that we can show you guys, and just let that reflect. Let your happiness reflect and your pleasing reflect into the chat area, and it helps us out a lot. All right. So if there's no questions on the SSL certificate, now sometimes you have them after the webinar is over, shoot Miss Deborah a message, and she'll get that to me, and we make sure you get the help where you need it. All right. Now the next step is fun. The reason why we're not doing Wix is, as I shared, when you buy your domain on Wix, it comes with an SSL certificate, so you don't have to go through these steps. All right. So it's not really nothing to demonstrate here. Now, the next thing I want to show you, this is fun. It's called HubSpot. Anybody heard of HubSpot? Yes? No?
Yes, Trisha said she's heard of it.
All right, cool. So HubSpot has a lot going on, okay? And it's a CRM. I'll go to it right quick. Let me go to the main website. So HubSpot has a lot going on, but we're going to use HubSpot specifically for your ticket management system. And again, it didn't used to be like this, but HubSpot has made it very easy to work with, especially if you're integrating with a platform like WordPress. All right, and they have it to where you can get a free account. So I recommend signing up after this tutorial. Sign up, kind of go plug and play for yourself. Okay. So what we're going to use is this ticket. I'm going to show you how to set up your ticket management system. Now, let me give you an example. You can go to our website, right? influ.com. You can also try, sign it up, automate all your social media in a matter of 2 minutes. Ms. Deborah, she's seen it. Captions, images, hashtags, everything in a matter of 2 minutes. Who injecting social media is done for the entire month. But we have our own ticket management system. It's a beacon on our website. You come here, you select with membership. Okay, what do you need help with? General question. You hit next. With your name, email address, you type your question, and you hit send a message. Now, once you send the message, okay, it goes into our live chat, and we can manage it from this chat flow. So we can see, hey, John Doe just sent us a message. Here's the question, and we can respond. We can respond directly to you through our chat area, and then your email. You would get an email with our response, and you respond directly back to that email. So it's just a clean way to provide customer support to people that use your services or are requesting your services, okay? So let me show you how you set that up. So first things first is you go to HubSpot.com. I'm not affiliated with them by any means. I'm just showing you how to use HubSpot. I think is a great tool you can use. And they also have a free service where you can test it out before you actually buy it and spend any money on it. So you come in and you sign up for the free tier. And right here it says Service Hub free. So service for customer support or customer service. And you got your conversation inbox, you got your tickets, okay? What you're gonna do is gonna say, create a chat flow. Now, you can create a chat flow. Oh, let me do this first. Add live chat to your website, set up live chat. And here's where you're gonna create your chat. You can do the colors, right? So you can put whatever your brand color is here. If you have your hex code, brand color, the hex code for your brand color, you can put that there. See what it's gonna look like at the X. Okay, so that shows you how it's gonna function on your website. Go next. And here's where you can add your team members. So since I am, the account owner for the particular demo, you see my name. If I want to customize my profile, I can put a headshot, and you can see my headshot there as well. Then here's what our welcome message is going to be. Got any questions? Send us a chat. So I'm just going to send a website. You can automatically assign conversations, pop open and welcome message as a prompt. So that's when a person first goes to your website, they'll see this message. So I have this on ours, but since I'm on here frequently, it remembers me. That's the cookies. It doesn't pop up once I close it. You hit next. And here's where you're going to pick just the chat availability. So this is pretty straightforward. During business hours, based on team member status. So if I'm online, meaning I log in the HubSpot, it shows I'm available. Or you can just have always. For hours, we have always because we want to make sure we're helping our customers around the clock. And there's someone that's always available to answer a quick email. If it's something that is more troubleshooting, then we will respond. We'll let you know, hey, we're looking to this, on the next business day, which is the next morning, and we'll report back to you with an update. Availability behavior, you can kind of set all this information right here. Then you'll hit next. It's going to show you a preview. Show you on your desktop, on your tablet, like an iPad, and then on your mobile. All right. It's going to show you how it's going to look as well. Now, let me go back to user guide. So that's after you've designed it, okay? Create chat flow. Now this is how you're going to show the chat flow, which you just created. So let's click website, okay? Maybe later. No, sorry. So we're going to do the same exact thing for the website. But I'm going to show you with GoDaddy makes this even more simple. Because after you're done here, it's going to give you a hex code to add to your website. But with WordPress, once you've created an account with HubSpot and you click the service tab, you can go to GoDaddy, plugins, search for, let's go to add new, search for HubSpot. I've already installed and activated it, but you would do what? Hit install now if it was there and hit activate, and it's going to show you that it's active, okay? So once you do that, you go to your HubSpot tab. It's going to ask you to connect to your website. So I've already connected it to our website. You can see you've connected inbacktest.live, okay? And once you come here, you're going to go down to this tab called live chat. You're going to create workflow. So as opposed to you going through the complications of building it through HubSpot.com, getting the code, coming back to WordPress, installing the code, that takes a little bit more experience. You can do it from within the plugin itself, and it's going to automatically sync the two. So let's create a workflow. Website. Set up the chat. Okay, let's go next. Let's go here. Let's go next. Let's go always. Let's say a few hours. Let's go next. Okay, great. Let's go publish.
Okay. So Joshua, and you may have already said this, but I may have missed it. So does it matter if you're on GoDaddy or what the host site is, you can still use this platform here to create a chat flow?
Exactly. You use a Wix. HubSpot pretty much works with every web development platform. So and a protocol that is show you how to get it set up. So I think, in my opinion, some people may feel different. If you're building it on WordPress, it makes it a lot more simple. But if you're using it on Wix or Squarespace or Weebly, a lot of the times the code they send you to install, they have an area for it. So you just drop the code into the area, hit save, and it auto populates for you. So, the SSL in this ticket management system is very clean, cut, and straightforward. And I'm moving slowly so you don't feel intimidated and you can really understand it. So once you do this, now it's already set up. So it's not much more for you to do. And when you get a message and it's seeing an email saying John Doe has sent you a chat bot, and you can come in here and respond directly. Okay.
Okay. And Trisha has a question.
Yes.
She says, what do you think about AI chat bots? Do you have a recode for using one of those on a site? I'm considering one for our nonprofit so that we can provide basic answers to questions we might get during off hours, non-business hours, when we can't have a live person available.
Yeah, you know, a lot of websites are using AI chatbots where the only extra leg of work you have to do is you have to build out the help document section. And what happens is if someone comes to your website, we don't have it on ours. We've just already created a part of our website that has our support documentation, right? So say for instance, if somebody goes to our website and, you know, I type a question here, right? How to, general question next, how to get started. And I hit send message. It would first recommend articles that have get started keywords in it. And so we have a get started section here, right? And it would say, okay, are you looking for this article? And then it will recommend it to that end user so they can say, okay, this answered my question. I don't need to send a message to the company. So it's very helpful. The only thing is, if you're going to do that, you have to really build out an extensive help document site. And I think it works very well. GoDaddy uses it. I'm trying to think of another website that does a really good job with it. Trying to think. HubSpot does a good job with it. There's a lot of websites, but again, these organizations have built out a very powerful help and support documentation section that can almost answer instantaneously any question you may have. In the event that the documentation didn't answer your question, then it will prompt you to say, okay, we're connecting you with the member of the team. So I think it's great. As long as you have that information built out, I would definitely recommend doing that. Do I recommend a chatbot over a search bar on a site then? Yes, the reason why I recommend a chatbot, okay, is for your CRM. Because a lot of the times, in order for people to get access to information, they have to put their name and email address. So if it's just a search bar on a site, then they're not getting added to your CRM. So I would, if you can go through the chatbot section, I would definitely do that. So I gotta think on both fronts. That the search bar is great, but I'm thinking customer, the workflow of the customer, and you as the business owner or the nonprofit, you're trying to get those people on your website into your sales funnel or into your CRM, your customer relationship management system. So at any event, you can add them to your newsletter or reach out to them directly if you would like to. So I would definitely go chatbot. But if you want something quick and you already have it on your website, and you don't feel like going through what I just showed you, then you can do the search bar. But if you got some time, I definitely get the chatbot going. Okay, let me X out of these. I'm making a lot of tabs. I'm being confused here. See, here's that section right here. Info about HubSpot features and pricing. So they're doing it right now. Okay, they recommend different articles and they support documentation. If I click it, see it says HubBot, and then it says, do you want to talk to someone or learn on your own? So I can talk to someone. I hope you guys can see this. Right? It gives me the option. Do I want to talk to someone or do I want to learn on my own by viewing the support documentation? Let's do learn on my own and see what happens. It says click here. It takes me to the academy. And this is all via the tool that I'm showing you right now. So you can do some powerful things with it. Okay. Cool. Now let's see. Let's go to, and you see here, so it's all set up. So if you go to, if you go to inbacktest.live, literally in less than 5 minutes, we set up our chatbot. So if somebody comes to this demo website, you can click this. You can send me a message. Let's do this. Oh.
So Trisha has another question. She said, do you recommend a chat bot over a search bar on a site then?
I just answered that.
Oh, you did? Okay. I'm behind.
Okay. Okay, see here, so do you have time to wait for response? So enter your email address. So boom, when they enter the email address, now that person is to your CRM. So let's go to here. Unassign. So here's the message that I just sent. And so instantaneously, you see this message right here, 11:39, it's now 11:40. So I just sent this, under a minute ago. hello, this is a test message to see the chatbot working. So I just sent that to myself, and I'm just kind of showing you what happens after the fact. So then if you come back to the website, this is the message that I just sent. Okay. So if any of you guys on the demo, if you was to go to inbacktest.live and send a message, I will see it instantaneously pop up into my inbox. Then I can respond right here. So let me see. John Doe. Let's see. I'll come back here. So this is John Doe. So I'm talking back and forth to myself, but I just want to show you how simple it is to get started, then how streamlined it is to see it working. So I pretended to be a visitor. I sent the website a message. Me as the message, the account holder, I got that message in my inbox right here. I responded, this is John Doe. How may I help you? And then I see that message here, this is John Doe, and it shows that means Joshua is responding. And then from there, that's it. It's really that simple. Now, let's say for whatever reason, you don't want to do the chatbot anymore. You simply come back here. 1 second, close this one out. You go back to the back end of your site, HubSpot, live chat, and you simply just turn it off. And it's going to remove the beacon. The help beacon is going to remove from your website. Oh. And it's that simple. Let me see here. I'll show you the inbox. Okay, you see that right there. Okay. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you have the time, I would definitely recommend having this chatbot for customer support and ticketing management, because this is cool. Let me show you what I mean. Having an email on your website, like we have here, even if you was to email support@influ.com, we have it connected where it's going to drop right into our ticketing management system. But most websites, in that small and medium-sized business sector that is not this savvy with their website, they just have a support email and then they go see your Outlook email. But it's very difficult as far as a CRM to manage it that way. The old school way, yes, it's fine. But a more clean and streamlined way is to have this chat bot or have a ticket management system. You don't have to use HubSpot. There's a lot of different alternatives out there. I'm just using it as an example because I think it's simple and it also has a free version so you can go in and get comfortable with it. But again, once somebody sends you a support ticket, it adds that individual to your CRM. That could potentially be a future customer if you want to reach out to them. Add them to your newsletter. Maybe you got sales, maybe you got discount codes, and you can reach to them and push them into your sales funnel. And that's pretty much it. So there's not much more to this chat bot. And if you go back here, you can really get as fancy as you would like to. Let me go back. Yeah, you get as fancy as you like to. You can see the reports. You can see the conversations inbox. Like I said, stay organized with tickets. You can see who responded under what. You can add more questions. You can invite your team and add a teammate to handle those ticket management systems for you. But it shows you step by step, any event that you want to kind of scale up the complexity of your chatbot. But nonetheless, we got you started with your ticket management system and how to navigate, how to keep it organized. So let's go back to our presentation. So we walked you through what is an SSL certificate, how to get it set up, how to purchase it, how to install it, how to activate it. These two steps kind of work hand in hand. And how to set up and integrate with your ticket management system, and which is what we just showed you in HubSpot. So yeah, like I said, this is probably the least complicated one out of all the webinars we've done. Next week is gonna get a little bit more complicated, but again, it's gonna be extremely valuable to you as well. So any questions? You guys have been very quiet. And I want to know, are you quiet because it's easy to understand, or are you quiet because, today it's hump day and, Okay, 5 stars. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, 5-star Joshua from Info makes learning about digital tools practice fun. Real time. Thank you. Thank you. Oh man, I appreciate that review. That's what I'm talking about. 5 stars, Tricia. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Make sure you save that, Miss Deborah. You got to put that one. You got to, you know me, have to print that one out.
I'm copying it right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, since we got a few minutes, let me go through what's the recording. Absolutely, Lisa. And thank you, Gene. Appreciate it. Yeah, as I said, this is on demand. So you can always go back, set up that dual monitor, and kind of walk back and forth, simple steps. But you run through this, you've got it. You got the basics. You got a little bit of the advanced side, but it's quick and clear cut. And you can get things going and just take your website to another level. And over the next few webinars, we're gonna be getting a little bit more advanced. So make sure you come with your coffee. Okay. I have a website currently, but I'm not happy with the platform, so looking to switch. What hosting platform would you recommend with CRM included? Well, what website are you currently? What platform are you currently on? Carla.
Let me see. Can we?
I'm set up on Logo Mix. I was set up through Logo Mix. Oh, okay. I would recommend, since we've done webinars on it, and I want to make sure I recommend something that we've taught. I would recommend Wix. You know, I think Wix is great. Wix, you know, comes with that plugin chatbot feature, but if you don't like, it's a little bit. It's not as the plugin is not as fancy as a HubSpot, but you can install HubSpot the same as I just installed it on WordPress. So I would recommend Wix because we have direct demonstrations on how to use it. End of life notice from my web hosting. Oh, yeah. Put that in the chat area. Yeah, I would definitely recommend Wix. And I think I got, here it is right here. Yeah, Wix. Wix has a CRM. You see customer management right here. It has a CRM. It automatically connects to your workflows, your automations, your form submissions, your contact list. So it really puts everything into it. And we, you know, I did a webinar on Constant Contact a few weeks back, and I showed you how to connect your website to your Constant Contact to where you can create a list of emails that have connected with you through a subscription form. You can connect a list of email addresses that have connected with you through a pop-up on your website. That where you can segment and send emails based on the people that contacted you, whether it was a support documentation, whether it was a coupon pop-up you had on your website. And that way, you know, you're managing your customers based on why they interacted with your website. So I showed you how to do that, but Wix makes that seamless. WordPress, you can do it, but it's not as seamless as Wix. Again, WordPress is a little bit more powerful. You can scale up a lot more, but Wix is a very powerful tool that I would definitely recommend you use. That has hosting and CRM and SSL certificate. So with GoDaddy, you got to buy the domain, you got to purchase hosting. Depending on what hosting you buy, you may or may not have to buy the SSL certificate. Then you got to install the plugin. Then you got to activate it. So there's more steps. Where Wix is kind of all packaged into one. And then I put my email in the chat as well. Yeah, any other questions?
I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna allow everybody an opportunity to just speak directly to you, Joshua. We just have 10 more minutes, so I'm just gonna go through and.
That's different.
Yeah. So everybody can now speak directly to Joshua if you want to unmute and ask him anything directly. We don't.
Oh. Now, it's another great question, Carla. Can you move your website over, or would I have to rebuild it? Okay, now we're getting fancy. So depending on how your website was built, what you're talking about is website migration. Depending on how your website was built, will determine how easy it is going to be to migrate. Now, what a lot of developers do, and I guess we're going to get a little technical here, all right? So have you ever heard of a website backup? What a website backup is it takes your entire, everything in your website, and it compresses it into a folder. And so if any reason your website crashes or gets hacked and deleted, you can just upload that backup and you'll be back in business. It could take, depending on how big your website is, it could take 5 minutes, it could take 5 hours. So essentially, when migrating your website, it could work very much the same exact way, where you would back it up into that file, to that folder, right? That compressed file, download it, and then upload it to the new hosting platform. So that's when your website is very kind of clean and straightforward. But here's where it gets tricky, because if you have a bunch of integrations, let's say you want to go from Wix to WordPress, or you want to go from WordPress to Wix. Some of those integrations and plugins don't transfer that easily. So, and that's where you get the term where your website will break. So sometimes it's a lot easier to migrate your website within the same web development system. So like going from one domain and GoDaddy to another domain and GoDaddy, and they got services that would do it for you. They got a help documentation show how to do it step by step. But if you're not familiar with, the technical, or have a technical background, I recommend paying them. I think it's like $99 to do it. But if you're trying to go from like GoDaddy to Wix, it can get complicated. It can be done, but you want to have somebody that's experienced in doing it. So to answer your question, it can be done without having to rebuild it, but you just got to figure out where are those areas where your website could potentially break and how can you avoid it. That was a good question, though. Any other questions? My allergies are like getting to me too.
See, we have 7 minutes left. So are there any other questions for Joshua regarding this topic?
Hi, Joshua. This is Gene.
How you doing, Gene?
All right. So I wanted to send you a copy of the notice that I received with it. If I ask that question now, would that take you off topic?
No, let me see if it's did you send it already?
I didn't send it, but my question is, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, go ahead and ask.
So I was notified that they're going to be ending, and excuse me, I can't articulate the correct terms, but it sounds like the hosting service is going to be ending in 6 months.
Okay.
And so does that mean I need to come up with a new web hosting platform altogether, or am I just going to be missing out on some of the features that's included in the website?
Oh, that one, I just looked it up too. This one is on One Firefly. So it looks like what they're doing is eventually they could be cutting support for that particular hosting service you're getting from them. And creating a new hosting service that you could potentially upgrade to or transfer over to. So, and so they're letting you know that, hey, it's 6 months. A lot of times what they do is your website is still work, but they won't be providing any more updates under that particular hosting that you have, or they won't be providing customer support under that hosting because it's now what's considered legacy. So it's outdated. And, even cell phone companies do that, like AT&T. I was on an old, cell phone plan that was 6 years ago, and I was calling to get, help and upgrades. So it's like, we no longer service that, but we could transfer over to this new plan that's going to get you that and more at a different price. So it sounds like that's what's happening. So what I would do is I would call them and say, hey, well, what hosting plan would you recommend I move over to, because I don't want my website to go down. And that's what I would do. So you may not have to completely jump ship from that company you're using. You may just need to figure out what new hosting did they develop and where do I need to move my website under. So that sounds
Okay.
like, yeah, that sounds like what's happening.
Is it okay to say the name?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so it's Business Catalyst.
Business
Hosting
Catalyst.
service. Business Catalyst. And I found it. The reason I didn't send it to you early because I couldn't find it, but now I'm going to forward it to you. And I would appreciate, and you don't have to do it now, but an exact recommendation.
Yeah, so this is exactly what's happening. So all sites hosted on this platform need to be migrated onto a new content management system. Now let me see what their end of life is. Let me see if they just completely. It's not too good to start thinking about the site right now. Yeah, so they created a more an upgraded hosting that you would just need to transfer your website over to.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what they're saying. They're saying, hey, as of March 26th, oh, that's already passed. So has it already happened?
No.
They're giving you 6 months though, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So it sounds like that's what's happening. They got the great Catalyst migration where you can just transfer over to the new content management system, and I guess it's being called Watermark. So the Watermark team.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I would call them and their team, their support team should be able to do that for you. Like I said, GoDaddy, they got a support team that would do it for us. Maybe they charge a small fee, $99, $150, or maybe they do it for free just for the inconvenience of this end of life. They may offer it to you for free.
All right. So if I want to change over to one of these hosting sites that you mentioned, GoDaddy, Wix,
yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Yeah, it's just it's a little bit of it's a complicated migration because you got to download all those files from this Adobe Catalyst or Business Catalyst into one and hope that whatever you developed on Business Catalyst will convert over to Wix or WordPress in their content management system. So, and like I said, sometimes it works seamless if you're going within the content management system or within Business Catalyst. But if you're going from one CMS, which is content management system, to a completely different one like Wix, there may be some complications there, but their support team should be able to walk you through how to do that because I've done it before. So in the event they do not help you with that, then you can always call Wix and see if they can help and get support. Then if not, we got another path we could take, which should be backing up the website, going through what you would call an FTP client. We're getting technical, but I just wanted, so when you're talking to them, you know your options, and going through an FTP client and kind of doing it that way. And at that point, you want to make sure you got somebody that's a web developer.
All right. I understand.
That answer the question?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, are there any other questions for Joshua that you'd like to ask? We have about 2 minutes left. I do want to let you know that on April 7th, we have our branded content, Facebook and IG. And then after that, we have on the 14th of April, advanced creative marketing materials with Canva. And I also want to ask anyone, if you all had trouble logging in today, I was getting some texts from people and emails that were having problems logging in. So I just wanted to put that out there to see if you had any problems so that I can investigate what the issue may have been. So we have 1 minute left. Any questions? Oh, okay. So Carla said when she clicked the link above, she received the message, this website may be impersonating mbackcincy.com to steal your personal or financial information. You should close this page. Do you know?
Let's see.
Not sure why we'll have to look into that. Thank you, Carla. All right, well, it's 12 o'clock. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today and participating in this webinar. Like I said, we do have branding content Facebook and IG, which will be April 7th. And then we have advanced creative marketing materials with Canva on April 14th. So please look for those webinars that Joshua will also be facilitating for us, powered by Influ, presented by MBAC Cincinnati and powered by Influ. And so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. This will be on our website and on our YouTube account. And I will also send out the on-demand link once I receive it from Zoom. So thank you again for your participation. And I hope you guys have a safe and happy rest of the week and weekend. Stay healthy. Bye-bye, everyone.